Atleti are at it again. Neymar steps up, European football rallies to cancel, a transfer roundup, and today's power rankings all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. First off, to last night's Champions League action, and of course you know by now that the European champions, the holders, are out of there. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool lost last night to Atletico on the night, and in fact lost 4-2 on aggregate altogether. And of course, Jurgen Klopp's not a very good loser. He said after the game that congratulations to Atleti for making it through, but he's disappointed in the way that they play football. He was saying with all the players they've got, the likes of Saul, Koke, João Felix, Diego Costa, they could play more attacking football. They could do better.
If I would say all the things I have in my mind, I would look like the worst loser in the world. So that's a better stop here.
One more. What else do you want to say?
No, yeah, but funny, I don't say it. It's just about the way they play. I just don't get. I don't get it. But that's right. The winner is right. That's how it is.
In what way?
Now you don't lose respect because you're with the questions you ask further, because you should know already. If not, then you didn't see the game.
Again, what on earth is he on about? Literally, Atleti went there, they set up to be defensively resolute, they did quite well and they scored 3 goals. Jurgen probably needs to take a look at his own side and figure out what they didn't do before start blaming another team's tactics. Again, really poor from him, especially how well Liverpool have done in the league this season. There is such a thing as being gracious in defeat. Anyway, as for the game itself, Liverpool did play better. They certainly had more of the ball and dominated. They didn't create too many chances to break through. Andy Robertson could have won it with that header that went off the bar. Apart from that, they did score a couple of goals. Liverpool were not at their usual self. And alongside this, I will say that despite the fact Liverpool played well, they put in an awful lot amount of crosses. In fact, that's literally what they did all game. So Jurgen Klopp's talking about disgusting football and counter-attacking and defensive and this and that, and his team's just lumping the ball into the box. You know what? Fair play to Atleti defence, especially to goalkeeper Jan Oblak. I think the whole thing that made it worse in the end was the fact that Alvaro Morata scored. You can literally see when he scored, he was like apologising to the Atleti fans for being so poor all season, but then he goes and scores that goal, so I'm sure all is forgiven now. What it does mean though is that Liverpool's side probably going to end the season with only one major trophy to speak of. Yes, they did win the Club World Cup and the UEFA Super Cup at the beginning of the season, but they've won the Premier League pretty much. They just need a few more games to do it. That's where the Premier League even keeps on going. They crashed out of the FA Cup and the Champions League in the space of 8 days, and the Carabao Cup earlier this season, their B team lost it. Is this still a successful season for Liverpool? You guys let me know, because after all, they are winning their first title in 30 years. But to the other game last night, and that was to PSG, who somehow managed to turn it around in the Champions League. Completely unheard of, and now that Neymar is fit and in the Champions League knockout games for PSG, seems to be doing the business. He actually scored a header, which is a collector's item in itself, regardless of the fact he's actually playing in the match, and had a pretty good game overall as PSG ran out 2-0 winners. For Dortmund, Emre Can was sent off at the end of what was a disappointing night after putting so much effort in to win 2-1 in Germany. Now, after the game, there was a few sort of choice actions from the players. You saw when Neymar scored and he went over to Mbappe to celebrate, he kind of mimicked Erling Haaland's celebration for the first leg, and the whole team did it afterwards. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for like a good bit of banter between players. I'm sure it was light-hearted. But literally, to see the whole team mocking a 19-year-old who pretty much had them on strings in the first leg, little bit disrespectful from PSG. Anyway, even though they have gone through, whoever they get in the quarter-final, unless, it sounds pretty harsh, it is someone like Atalanta, one of the weaker sides in the quarter-finals, PSG will probably be knocked out anyway, so I'm not sure Neymar or Mbappe will be cheering for too long. In fact, I'm not sure anyone will be cheering for too long, because most of the football is either going to be cancelled or played behind closed doors. It seems like the coronavirus really is taking its toll, especially as we now have a few professional footballers who have contracted the virus. Daniele Rugani, the Juventus defender, is the latest one to get it yesterday, and it means that everyone at Juventus is now on lockdown, and including Inter Milan as well. Of course, the top sides in Serie A, aside from Lazio, played each other on Sunday, and even though Rugani was on the bench, there's loads of ways that it could have spread before and after the game as well. So what's going to happen? Well, apparently Serie A, Liga, La Liga and the Bundesliga are all going to go to UEFA, and also, as well as their own leagues being cancelled and played behind closed doors, demand that Euro 2020 is cancelled as well. There has been talk that it will be moved to next summer to allow this season to finish during the summer, and then the season to restart again in August and everything back to normal. But that seems to be like it's a hell of a lot of paperwork, and worse for UEFA, it's going to be awful because they're going to lose a lot of money. As for the Premier League, it looks as though the decision will be made today that the rest of the season will be played, but it'll be played behind closed doors. I just can't see that happening. It's utterly ridiculous that the football's still going on. Players are getting it, coaches are going to get it, fans aren't going to be there. What on earth is happening? Just cancel the football now, at least until most countries have got a hold on the situation. But next up, to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Bayern Munich are interested in out-of-contract Chelsea winger Willian in the summer. Chelsea and Spurs are both interested in taking Bournemouth goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. Juventus want Harry Kane to join them to play alongside Cristiano Ronaldo next season. And last but not least, Benfica have completed the signing of Corinthian player Pedrinho. So welcome to the Onefootball Power Rankings. This is where we create the definitive list of the top 10 players in Europe based on their last 5 games in league and European competition. First off though, let's take a look at who's in at numbers 10 till 6. Liverpool Sadio Mane is at 10 with Paulo Dybala at 9. Kylian Mbappe keeps his place in the top 10 sitting at 8. Marcel Sabitzer's goals against Spurs fire him into 7th with Bruno Fernandes in at 6. So into the top 5 now, and I'm going to warn you, it is very Bayern Munich heavy because they're the best team, surely, in Europe at the moment. And they're in incredible form. They're stretching their league at the top of the Bundesliga, and out of all the teams left in the Champions League, they had the most convincing first leg in the last 16, and they look like probably the favourites to win it at the moment. An unbelievable team, and Alphonso Davies is the first man on this list. He's just in at number 5 after another good performance against Augsburg at the weekend. And moving into number 4, it's another Bayern player. Thomas Müller, highly unappreciated this season, but has really turned things around since Hansi Flick came in. He scored again at the weekend in that 2-0 victory, and has just looked really, really good this season. So much so that Philippe Coutinho may find that he doesn't actually sign on a permanent basis. Number 3 sees Thiago in there. Another brilliant performance from another Bayern player in another great win. Of course, their game against Chelsea next week has been ordered to be played behind closed doors, but that's still 6 days away, so things could change in between now and then. What's not changing though is Thiago's brilliant form and him sitting in 3rd. So you know how it goes for the top 2 now. I'll present a case for both before revealing who has won this week. First up, and one of the challengers for the number 1 spot, Josip Ilicic. Now, we've spoken about how brilliant his form's been recently, and he couldn't do any better than last week. Well, he went and scored 4 times in an away game in the Champions League to take Atalanta through to the next round against Valencia. I mean, unbelievable scenes. If you add that onto the fact that he's now scored 6 and assisted 2 in his last 3 games, the guy's on fire. I know it doesn't even count, but in his last 9 games, he's got 12 goals. He really, really is looking like one of the best players this season. If Atlanta are going to have any hope of reaching the semis, they'll need him on this fine form. On the other side, Serge Gnabry, 3 assists, 6 goals in the last 5 games, and the Bayern Munich winger is on absolute fire. So much so that Germany will be hoping he can keep up his form and take it into Euro 2020, especially with the likes of Leroy Sané out injured. He did grab another assist at the weekend, although moving forward, I'm not even sure if the power ranking is going to continue. If so many leagues are going to be called off, it's pretty harsh to judge just 1 or 2 players in their recent games while the others don't even play. But for this week's power rankings, I can finally reveal that the winner, Josip Ilicic, of course. He scored 4 goals to improve an already unbelievable run of form. Who else was it really going to be? Let me know your thoughts though in the comment section below, who you would have had in the top 10, and your thoughts on the rest of today's daily news. Whilst you're there, you can smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.